I don't give a fuck if I go blind. I don't need to see the price tag anyway. They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm him. Welcome to the Cream Kingdom, bitch. Open up. You ain't seen 10 bands in your life, shit. I have seen the Magna Carta. I threw diamonds at the strip clubs under the Great Pyramids. She dropped that ass on me from an egregious angle. You think I care about this shit? Ask me if I care. That pussy got me screaming, crying, pissing, shitting, shooting ropes. I hope them aliens are real so that I have more things to fuck. When I got the meat cannon, I'd be shooting straight rope. This shit ain't nothing to me, you stupid piece of shit. I'm him. I've been him. I will continue to be him. This shit ain't nothing to me, man.
I
don't know who I am anymore. I'm getting too much money.
There was a part of me that was going to promise to not mention the weather anymore, because it makes me sound either like a boomer or someone trying to fill the quiet space with meaningless small talk. But it is cold. I mean real cold. I can't even remember what it was to be warm. I should have quit smoking weed immediately the day I left California for Indiana. If I had done that, my system would have been flushed out, and I probably could have begun and completed truck driving school. Instead, I've sat around feeling sorry for myself. Also, my sciatica is acting up. I think I need to pick up some orthotics the next time I get paid. I'm not even sure if it's sciatica or just general lower back pain. I have bad posture, I admit it. I'm only making these victim noises because that's what it is. At first I thought I was just constipated, but even after a healthy, creamy brisket shit, the back pain persisted. I'm fucked. Just gonna have to let it run its course and heal all by itself. It is what it is. So I am sure everyone is aware they did in fact ban TikTok for a whole 12 hours. It was the worst half day of my life. I kept opening the app just on reflex and kept seeing that it was blacked out. Then the next day it was up again, and Trump got all the credit. Of course, none of that mattered to me. I think all politicians are bad. American politics is basically two groups of millionaires trying to convince the working class and the poor that the other side is the reason they are broke. It's insane how everyone buys into it. Back in high school, I never participated in popularity contests, and I'll be goddamned if I'm going to participate in them as an adult. If someone ran for president on the promise of eliminating income tax and kept that promise, I might reconsider, but that'll never happen. Much was made of the inauguration, especially how Elon Musk threw up a Nazi salute at the end of his speech. Conservatives defended it, liberals demonized it, and all of us who quietly withdrew from giving a shit are all stuck in the middle like children of divorce. The truth of the matter is that I use TikTok's editing for my YouTube videos, so in a way, TikTok is like a subcontractor. You can add text to speech like what you're hearing now, you can add copyright-free music, but other than that, I really didn't care. A lot of people went over to Red Note, so I decided to check it out. I was in there for less than 15 minutes before a hot Chinese girl with big tits started messaging me. You never pass up an Asian woman with big tits, or at least that's what Uncle Dalton used to say. But all of a sudden, she started asking me if I could get her blueprints for Virginia-class submarines, and when I told her no, she ghosted me. Now the FBI wants me to come down to their offices for a chat. I asked them if I needed a lawyer, and they just laughed. Why would you need a lawyer if you haven't done anything wrong? They asked. I'm thinking of just skipping the meeting. The point of this story is that I was on TikTok for years and never got in trouble. But I was on Red Note for 15 minutes and now the feds are following me. That reminds me, I think you may have eaten my doorbell because your breath smells like a ding-dong. I promise that I will not bring up politics again. There is a part of me that hates going long periods of time without talking to anybody. Humans are social creatures, so that is understandable, but I do not like it. I feel like I am slipping back into mental illness. I've stopped taking my meds. But there is another part of me that reminds myself that this is what life will be like once I am driving a truck. I have to remind myself that I chose this life, that I wanted this life. I have to be reminded that this is all my own doing, and I have no one else to blame. I guess the simple answer is that it will take some getting used to. I'm not complaining, I'm not trying to be a little bitch about it. But I'm simply pointing out that at this point in my life, I feel like my sanity is starting to slip. I'm becoming paranoid. I feel like I have worn out my welcome with the people I'm living with. I feel like it is only a matter of time before I'm asked to leave. This is worrisome because I'm out of places to run. I'm starting to realize that I'm just unwanted. It's a shitty feeling. People will deny it. They'll say that it is not the case, but I can see it plain as day, like the nose on my face. My plan is to stay the course and just try to get through truck driving school, so I can be out on my own and out of everyone's hair. Being 45 and living with your parents sucks. Man, it's like a fantasy right now, being out on the road by myself. I know that if I buckle down and get my shit together, I can make that fantasy a reality. I have to put aside my worries and my paranoia and just do what I need to do to realize my goals. It just seems like I'm burning bridges and destroying or flat out neglecting the relationships that are important to me. For most of the people involved, I am totally unconcerned. The only relationship that carries any weight on my conscience is that of my daughter. I've played the divorce game as a child, and now I'm playing the role of the parent. Not only that, I am that parent. The parent who isn't present for all the day-to-day drama that comes with teenage life. I feel like I am missing milestones. That too is a shitty feeling. And then there is my ex. We have always had our issues, but it's another thing entirely when it's obvious that she is actively working against me when it comes to accomplishing my goals. I can do it with any amount of pushback anyone wants to come at me with. But it would be nice if there was more support. But it's like a motto that I saw on the back of some random dude's hoodie that said, "No one cares. Work harder." That is the truest statement I've ever heard. No one is coming to help. So maybe help yourself first. All the background noise and how I feel about things are all just details. I have to turn the volume down on all of that bullshit and do what I have to do to accomplish my aforementioned goals. Nothing else matters. If I don't, all this drama with my daughter was for nothing. It will be a fact that I put her through all this separation and completely upsetting her home life for absolutely nothing. The next time I see her, I have to have something to show for this time I've spent away from her. That's not a demand put upon me, just my opinion. That is why I titled this end of the month The Spanish for Mr. Nobody. That's me right now, Mr. Nobody. But the truth is that I do not want to be Mr. Nobody. I want to be Mr. Somebody. That is why I have to do this. Failure is not an option. I have to get my confidence back. I remember when I was training to be a dialysis technician, I had all of this confidence and felt like I couldn't be stopped. I was doing things I never could imagine doing and visualizing the victories before they happened. I have no idea where all of that came from, but I wish that I did so that I could more frequently access it. But the bottom line is that I need to escape other people. Even these people who took me in when I had nowhere else to go want me gone. It's all of them. And deep down in my heart of hearts, I can accept that. If the shoe was on the other foot and all that kind of shit, I'd probably feel the same way about having me as a roommate. They don't want me here and I don't want to be here, and truck driving school solves both problems. Man, now that I look back on these last few minutes, this episode is turning into a real downer. I don't want that. You don't want that. And Ringo here definitely doesn't want that. So let's go ahead and switch gears here and get the fuck out of this funk. This dill funk. I had a really vivid dream the other night that I was driving in a crazy thunderstorm. I can't say that I was driving a truck in the dream. It felt very much like I was driving my Malibu if I am just being honest. But I still pulled into a truck stop for the night, the rain drumming on the roof. In this dream, I was crawling into the sleeper compartment and layering up multiple blankets and sheets as the rain brought a cold snap with it. I had those low-tone mood lights for a chill vibe, and combined with the rain, I never felt so relaxed. I remember thinking the next day, while recounting this dream, that if I ever have a moment like that in the real world, I would be a very rich man indeed. It was one of the best dreams that I've had in a while. I didn't want the dream to end. That kinda got me motivated, you know? I thought to myself, dude, you can have experiences like that. You just have to do what you gotta do to get there. You cannot engage in anything that doesn't contribute to what you want. Just do it, like the commercial says. Dirt, dirt. The cat who has appeared on this channel more than any other was just pawing at my door in these wee hours, so I have let him in. He immediately curled up into a loaf and fell asleep on my cat astronaut blanket that I received from my nieces for Christmas. Before moving here, I had never heard a cat snore before. But as I live and breathe, Dirt is snoring so loud that it sounds like a human with sleep apnea or COPD or both. I wish I could take him with me when I go off on my adventures, but this is his home. Plus, he's old as fuck and would probably die within a couple weeks of leaving the only home that he has ever known. Maybe when I'm driving a truck, I can get a cat or a dog to keep me company. But then again, that's just another mouth to feed. I will always be able to lean on the CB radio for companionship, and with the advent and rise of the internet, I am well versed in the art of trolling. I could always troll other truckers over the radio and keep things interesting. And I never have to feed the radio. I just have to get there, and everything else will work out. I'll be able to live and work on the truck and not have to worry about a car payment, house payment, or any of that bullshit. I can just bank the money and finally buy a place that is mine. A place on some land. I have to be able to leave something to my daughter when I am dead and buried. I know that is kind of a morbid thought, but that doesn't mean that it isn't realistic. Hell, I'll take it a step further and say that such a purchase is just plain responsible. Buy the land and just build a house on it. Depending on which state it is, the land might actually be cheap. Building the house to my own specifications will be the expensive part. I don't care. I want a farmhouse on some land with a wraparound porch on at least 3 sides. I want a barn also. I want a barn just because. I don't have a use for a barn, but I want one with a hayloft. I have envisioned this house in my own mind several times over. I know that I am just dreaming when I do this, but it feels like something more than that. It feels like a memory. It feels like a place that I've been before, in this plane of existence or another. A place that is so quiet that I'll forget for a few moments, anyway, that I forget that I am a part of this world. The grand prize in choosing a solitary life. It looks like a tree, but it is not. It's a cell phone tower. Just out in the middle of a field living its best life. The snow has started falling again. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about the weather, but fuck. Here we go again. It's cold out here, and it's cold inside where I am working. It is so cold that I am having to wear my hoodie while I do my nightly cleanup. I have been here for a couple of hours, and it is so cold inside. I've seen teachers completely bundled up in winter coats in the halls. Wherever I end up, it isn't going to be cold like this. It doesn't have to be a desert or some place with 100-degree heat, but I'm not living in this bullshit. These people are insane. I decided to take my lunch break a half hour early so I don't have to drive in this crap after dark. If I must drive in the snow in the dark, it's gonna be when I go home. I want to get one of those chicken strip baskets from Dairy Queen. Yeah, you know the one. The only Dairy Queen available to me in California was inside the food court of the mall, and they only served drinks. It was whack. It was also connected to an Orange Julius. I didn't even know those two eateries were in cahoots together. You learn something new every day. It's like driving through the set of one of those Lifetime Christmas movies, except that the people drive like idiots. Speaking of idiots, there is this one street that has no stop signs, just a bunch of roundabouts at every intersection. I want to go on record saying that the American mind cannot comprehend roundabouts, much like it cannot understand soccer. That is why every time I approach one of them, I cross my fingers and stick a quarter up my ass because I played myself. Fun fact, when I left for work today, my weather app said that the snow was going to stop in 15 minutes. That was almost 4 hours ago. The snow never stopped during that time. It'll probably be an icy death trap when I get off tonight. As I go bombing down McFarland at 30 miles per hour, the only thing I worry about is the approach to Southport Road. It's on an incline, and I can't say for sure if I will slide or not. All I know is not to pump the brakes. Here is me being a nice guy and waving an Amazon driver through the intersection. This knucklehead is driving around with his window down, and that right there should have told me that it was a big mistake. Once in front of me, he's doing like 20. Come on, guy. Then he pulls to a stop without a blinker or anything right in the middle of the street. You can see my visible frustration. Nice guys finish last indeed. I should have just went and looked out for number one. I only have 30 minutes to get my food and eat it. Well, I could actually take as long as I want to eat my food, but I have to be back at the school within 30 minutes of my leaving. They have cameras all over the exterior of the school, but I have yet to find any inside of the school itself. So if they decide to watch me on the cameras, all they will see is me leaving and then coming back. With no eyes inside, for all they know I am just working diligently, like I was hired to do. Or maybe I am taking a nap in one of the sensory rooms. Nobody really knows for sure. Like Cardi B said, no face, no case. So this is the approach to Southport Road, where the chances of me becoming a human cannonball are at their highest. Put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye, am I right? It was easy money and I encountered no problems. Just off screen on the right, there was a guy in the ditch with his flashers on. But the only thing I did was try not to make eye contact with him. I didn't want to appear helpful in any way, shape, or form. I did lose traction a little bit when I made the turnoff of McFarland, but so what? That happens all the time. If you can't handle that, then you are even more of a novice at driving in the snow than I am, which is nothing to be proud of. But this is one of my favorite streets to drive down. There are lots of old buildings that have probably been here since the 19th century. I'm not even kidding. Coming up is a local bakery that makes some of the best donuts that I've ever eaten. They only take cash, which is a little weird, but you can get a donut for $1. Even in this economy with these inflations. But absolutely worth running to an ATM to get folding money. It's called Long's Bakery. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I am just coming up on it now, and you can see me look at the camera and point to it. They didn't pay me to plug the name of their bakery because they honestly don't need my help. They have been a Southside institution since before I was even born. I don't know what that red brick building is right after the train tracks is, but it looks old as fuck. This part of town makes the capital city feel like some small town out in the middle of nowhere. This street fucking rules. Okay, there is Long's. Perhaps I should take out some cash and go hit them up this weekend. People rave about their donuts, but I am more interested in what the coffee tastes like. Nothing compliments fried dough like bean-flavored water, am I right? I have to stop and get some gas on my way home, but I think I am going to curl up underneath a pile of blankets and go to bed early. I have to start getting into a habit of early to bed and early to rise. I need discipline. All that bitching I did earlier needs change in action. So if January was about lifestyle change, then February is going to be about turning the screws. No more excuses. No more planning. All the plans have been made. It is now time to do. But after these chicken strips, then I'll get it together. I can't believe that it is already the end of January. The next time you see me, it will be February. It is true what they say. Time flies when you're fucking miserable. I'm just kidding. Or am I? Nobody knows. Nobody really knows for sure. The video in the background is from Amateur Barbarian's YouTube page, and he was nice enough to let us use it. This is from the video A Proper Rampage. You can find it on his channel. This is the end of it, where ambulance drivers and cops show up. Check out that hairdo. It looks like Conan O'Brien in a bulletproof vest. I always try to wrap up our time together with some wild gaming scenes, so I want to thank Amateur for his contributions to our success. He's a real one, always appreciated. So as I mentioned before, February is going to be the month where I buckle down and start focusing in on my goals. I don't have a choice anymore. I have to get it done. And now that I know you guys are watching, the pressure is most definitely on. One day, years from now, I will look back at these early videos and laugh. It's always a trip to see how things get started. It would have been nice to have a camera crew following you around when you start new things. Oh snap, the cops are coming. Change up that aluminum baseball bat for a lead-hurling assault rifle and bang it out with these tyrants. No mercy. I don't ask for names and badge numbers. I ask for casket sizes. I'll lay them out. Right here in front of the Wonderama arcade. And then some dude in a Ford Fiasco comes barreling through this active crime scene like your boy Steve McQueen. So we will see you next week. Same whack time, same whack channel. Don't get wasted like this Chaz trick ass, bitch ass, motherfucker ass. Oh, and before I forget, we have reached 10 subscribers. Double digits, so to all 10 of you, thank you for your support. Buckle up, it's gonna be a hell of a ride.